set, please. Open up. And thank you very much. Go for it.
Disappointed into the season, Dom. What's your initial reaction?
Very much that. We sort of, obviously the results last night, we're going to make it very difficult to push on and play finals, but we wanted to finish the season better than that. And, it was always an unknown today with, how the group was going to come out. We gave them a 6-goal start before we even got close to going. But, to our guys' credit, they fought it out really well. There wasn't a lot to play for them at the end there, but I thought they showed some spirit at the end. And but still, disappointing way to finish what's been a pretty disappointing season, to be honest.
How did you try to get them into the right frame of mind
to
attack the game?
I was more just trying to play to their, just the enjoyment of it. Obviously we had the two guys retiring this week in Richard Douglas and Andy Otten, and they spoke, about their time at the footy club and what it meant to be part of the club, and try to tap in a little bit to that in terms of that. But you just never know. They've obviously come out with not a lot to play for, and we got jumped early against the Breeze, and then it was, I think from then on we pretty much were even for the rest of the game, but we never looked like winning it.
It was been frustrating, well obviously frustrating, but this slide to finish the season, I mean, has there been recurring themes?
Yeah.
I mean, you just not being able to snap out of it?
Yeah, we've just got into a bit of a funk, to be honest, where we've got to the bye and we're in reasonable shape. We were sitting at 8 and 5 and a lot to play for, and then we haven't got going at all in the second part of the season. So we need to go away and lick our wounds and have a real look, see exactly what's transpired and what we need to change and fix. And we've got some great people at the footy club. We've got the playing group, the coaching staff, high performance guys. But we've clearly underperformed against our own expectations, and we now need to own that and look at exactly what we need to do to get ourselves back to playing the way we're capable. You see bits and pieces, we see patches, but we're just not consistent enough for 4 quarters against the better teams. And whether it's skill errors, whether it's just easy goals against, whether it's just basic breakdowns of some fundamentals. There's some things we're not doing the level that the game's requiring, and we need to assess those, discuss them, and come back with a really clear plan to attack pre-season.
Is the way forward clear to you right now, or do you need to do a bit more investigation?
I think it's relatively clear. It's simple things like we're not kicking the ball anywhere well enough. I think our kick rating's in the bottom 2 or 3. We're not sustaining pressure on the ball for long periods, which if you watch the best teams, they're doing that for a long period of time. So they're 2 things which stand out straight away, which clearly we need to train and we need to change and the way we're going about it, either through system or training method or personnel or a combination of all. And there's some other things which we need to do a bit more digging around in to make sure that we've got a footy club that's is in a space where we can consistently perform and compete to the level that we know is required.
You mentioned Otten and Douglas. How many other personnel changes are you expecting from the side that went out there today?
Well, look, from a retirement viewpoint, none that I'm aware of. So there's no one that sort of raised their hand saying that that's their last game. So look, list management will take its course now. Obviously, Sample team continues on. They've got at least 2 finals to play in, so there's a chance for them to go and play, which is a great opportunity for some of our guys, some of our younger guys in particular, to get some performance against at a finals level, which will be good for their development, which is important. But then we'll look at lists and management side of it from here on.
The narrative seems to be you're going to have to go backwards further to go forwards again now. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't. I've never been a real believer in windows and bits and pieces. I think we saw even the last couple of weeks with the introduction of Fogarty. We see Jones today take a real step forward. So we've got some talent on our list. It's now about getting the right blend and balance around our senior players, and how we evolve from here is going to be some good discussions, some good conversations around what that looks like in terms of what's our team look like round 1 next year, and how are we going to play, and then how we're going to train that. The reality is we finish early. We finished earlier than we wanted to, and that's disappointing. But ultimately, you finish where you finish for a reason, and we've got some work to do.
Do you think that uncertainty has affected the playing group at all, in terms of not knowing whether they'll be at Adelaide or what their future is?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask the players, to be honest. Again, we've been pretty clear from a list management viewpoint in terms of recontracting space, as well as some of our senior players. But it's always a moving feast. So you have to talk to some of them, I imagine.
Touch on Chase Jones there.
Yeah.
Did you see he's going today?
Yeah, it was
chance for a rising star, I guess, with performance like that.
Yeah, he was very good, and that's it's what we were excited about when we drafted him, and it was great to see him step up and play the way he did today, and he showed some real signs. We threw him in the middle in the second half, and he's a genuine midfielder. He's hard at it. He's a young man who's going to develop into a good side. So, really exciting signs from him.
What did you make of Texas' performance when he kicked 5 goals?
Yep.
Probably win the game instead of field.
Yeah, I thought he was probably the one guy ahead of the ball who was competing pretty consistently on it. You know, we got outmarked again too easily today ahead of the ball, which has been relatively consistent for us. But Tex was pretty determined today. He's played a lot of footy with Richard Douglas, and he was pretty determined to make sure that he impacted the game, and I thought he did that.
Tackles inside 50 is a theme for all season. I think they'll finish with 2 again today.
Yep, it's an area to work on. No question. Yeah, and again, we speak about it, and I've spoken about it in this chair all year. The field position in the modern game is vital, and when you get it, to be able to keep it is important, and that's one of the indicators we need to improve on. You know, our ability to sustain pressure on the ball, and we did it for patches today. There was a little period in the second quarter where I felt like we were just owning the game a little bit better. It was staying in our half, but it was still long periods of time where the ball came out of our front half too easily, and that's not all on our forwards. That's our mids' ability to press in, our backs' ability to get organised behind the ball. We're just off, and in this game against good opposition, when you're just off, they're able to transition the ball, you know, take field position. That puts pressure on your backs.
This time last year, you had the big win over Carlton, and I think you were very optimistic about 2019. How does this feeling right now compare to them? Obviously, comparing the seasons.
Yeah, well, I probably haven't had a chance to truly reflect just yet, but clearly at the end of last year we were disappointed at missing out, and we're probably more disappointed, to be honest. You know, expected to go the other way up the ladder, and we've probably just treaded water. So, you know, ultimately that's responsibility of me and our coaching group and our playing group to go, well, what's caused that and what do we need to change? And that's what we'll undertake through the review process, to get a feel for what is it that we can actually do better, and continually work on to give ourselves a chance to be playing finals footy, which is where we want to be. And that's, I know where our fans and our members want to be, and I know they're frustrated and they're disappointed as well, and I understand that, because, you know, their expectations were probably matched by ours in terms of where we thought we could play, but that's not the case. So now we have to actually go, well, why, and get to the bottom of that, and then do something about it.
Is that, I guess, you've mentioned the frustrated fans. Would they be frustrated that perhaps you didn't find a few more of those answers along the way to regain that winning touch?
Yeah, well, certainly we were trying some things along the way. It wasn't through lack of sort of trying, and we've sort of changed the team. We probably haven't been able to settle the team down, and we haven't had guys playing in consistently good form, and that's one of the things we've got to talk about, is that we've got some of our better players are inconsistent, and we'll look at what that is, whether it's how we're training, it's, you know, environment at the footy club, whatever it is that we need to look at that actually will allow us to play consistently strong footy.
Do you think the environment at the footy club's been where you wanted to be in the last back half of the year?
I think that's always a challenge when you're losing, to be honest. I think that's one of the things. I mean, you've been around footy clubs for a fair while, and you understand that, you know, winning generally creates a good vibe and thing. And when we're not winning and we're not playing as well as we want, there's a sense of frustration kicks in, and we've seen that at times. You know, in terms of trying to make sure that the players, you know, aren't getting frustrated by the lack of results. And it's always, from a coaching viewpoint, it's always a challenge, because you've got this demand that the game places on you, as well as, you know, confidence and competency of players, which is beliefs kicking in, and so all those things are in the mixing pot. So, you know, that's certainly one thing we need to talk about as a group, as to how that looks and works, and what that's going to be the best going forward to allow them to be the best they can be.
Don, how are you handling the scrutiny on your position?
Yeah, oh, that's the reality of the game. You know, you sit in this chair, you understand, you know, you're here to effectively win games of footy. It's a win-loss industry. So I understand that, you know. There's a fair range of focus on that, and we haven't performed. And ultimately, I sit where I sit to take accountability and responsibility for that. So, you know, there's a whole myriad of reasons. But, you know, for me, yeah, it's reality.
Why do you have confidence that you can turn it around in the next couple of years?
Well, I think we go back to the quality of our people, to be honest. We're not sitting at a footy club where I question the people we have. You know, we've got some high quality people. Which, as I say, we need to review for the footy department and go, what can we do different? What can we change up that's going to allow us to get into a better space? We've all got good ideas, players, high performance staff, coaching staff. We've got to get all those on the table, have a conversation, and say, right, which direction we're going to go. And I'm really clear, when we take that direction, things will change.
Has the past 2 or 3 months shaken your belief in your own ability to get the best out of the team?
Oh, I think you always, you know, I certainly know from my viewpoint, you always self-reflect in terms of, you know, is it from a messaging viewpoint, what's going on? So there's no question at times, you know, you probably have an element of uncertainty about, okay, where we're headed. But, you know, my job is now to go, right, I'm going forward, let's go forward and let's take it in this direction and give real clarity to the group and go from there.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.